The next one we wanted to talk about is the case statement. And this is another one where when you first look at it, you're not quite sure how often you're going to use it, and then you find yourself using it quite a bit. Depending on how data is stored in the table, in some cases you might not be able to translate it easily back out into a query result or a report or a spreadsheet. So we use a case statement in order to kind of reformat. So using our human resources employee table again, we actually have a flag, and that's probably an easy way to look at this. So we can do select, and we do a case, and we're going to look at the salaried or current flag. I'm going to do the salaried flag, and we're going to say when salaried flag is a 1, then I want you to return salary. And when the salary is a 0, then we'll say that it's hourly. I could have that backwards, but I don't have a reference. And there's also an else statement, and that basically means we can add as many of these when-thens that we want. So when it's 1, then I want it to say salary. When it's a 0, then I want it to say hourly. And I'm picking on this field because it's a bit. So I know it's going to be a 1 or a 0. It's also not null. But if it was nullable, that would be a third field. So I could say else something else can be returned because maybe that field happens to be a null. So I could do something like a default. Some kind of default value could be put in here, and that's what would be returned if the when 1 and the when 0 fail. It's going to default to the else value. And then we're going to end this, and we're going to alias it as pay. So now instead of all of these 1s and 0s, all the bit fields, my case statement allows me to take those bit values and turn it into a string value, salary, hourly, default, which is obviously more readable in a report or a result set. So we'll change this up a little bit, and we'll do something with strings again. I want to select the job title. Oops. No, I do want the job title. Let's take a look at what job titles we have. You can do a distinct job titles from our table. And these are the unique job titles. So let's say I don't want to, I want to display only part of these names. Maybe if in the case of the production supervisor. So if we look at the job title, we can do it this way. When the job title is like, and I know we haven't seen this one, but like production supervisor, then I just want to return production supervisor. I don't want to see all these numbers they have. And we'll do the same thing for the production technician. We'll go over like in the where area, so don't worry about that. This is just to show what the case statement can do with multiple records. Now our job title, and then we do it equal to, let's say it's the Chief Executive Officer I want it to be CEO. And I guess we might as well do the same thing to the CFO. And we pick on the database administrator. You know, that guy didn't do anything. Otherwise, we just want to return nothing. I'm just going to return a null. And we're going to end it as titles. So it should be just titles instead of job titles. So before I run this, what are we doing here? We're going to comment this out first. So what are we doing here? We're starting our case statement, and instead of putting the field up here at the top, which we could do, we start our case statement, and in our when statement we basically say when I see this job title that's like production supervisor, I don't care what the rest of it is. That's what the percent sign is for. Production supervisor, anything. I just want to return production supervisor. I don't want to see that number or anything. And that goes the same for the CEO, the CFO, and the awesome database administrator. So let's run this and see what we get as a result. See, again, it goes down each one of those records. Obviously, we only have one CEO, but they're all null because they don't match, right? So let's scroll down, and here's the production technician, production supervisor, and you can see it took off that end. It's returning the string that I specified in my case statement. And it looks like there's two database administrators. Oh, there he is. CFO's all the way down at 234. We found him. Okay, and the case statement can continue on. You can do as many as you want here. In fact, I don't actually know what the limit is for a case statement. But you can see the power of this statement to be able to take a single field, do something with it, and display something that you actually can use in your final result set.